This weekend, we have a beautiful full moon in Cancer. This moon feels like a real turning point in the energy. I feel like it's been a little heavy lately as the personal planets made their way through the final degrees of Sagittarius just before entering Capricorn and squared Saturn and then Neptune. I wonder if anyone else felt a little extra heaviness, confusion, just sort of a little intensity with this late degree Pisces stuff the last couple of weeks. Or maybe you felt all of that water as sort of a little extra dreaminess, a chance to sort of drift away from normal reality and sink into a floatier sort of watery state for a bit with Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces here. You've likely felt it one way or another. And I think that this full moon in Cancer is serving as something of a turning point. I really like this full moon actually. I think it's going to be a really nice weekend. And I do think it will feel like a positive turn of the energy for a lot of people. So let's go ahead and mark our chart here. It's interesting doing this at a different time of day today. I'm here sort of a little late or a little early, depending on how you see it. Everything's a little changed with the holiday schedule, but I'll be back to more of a regular schedule soon. So here we have this full moon in Cancer. And of course, the light in the full moon is always coming over from the sun. So the sun and the moon are opposed to each other. I always relegate my chart for Aries here in the first house, just for those who are learning astrology. I think it keeps it more simple. So this is actually just a couple of hours after the full moon, which will be at closer to 13 degrees. So just a couple of degrees back. And as you can see, there's quite a lot happening in the Capricorn part of the chart in general. And I think that that's a big part of what's going on with this energy here too. Um, all these planets in Capricorn sort of wanting to plan and prepare for the long haul, uh, wanting us to do that. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I catch myself in the way I phrase things. It's not that these planets are encouraging us to do something or compelling us to do something or making us do anything. They signify what's going on with us. What's going on with them is what's going on with us. So there's a correlation, there's a signification, which is very different. Uh, all these Capricorn planets suggest that we might be a little bit more into sort of planning and preparing for the long haul, figuring out the steps that we need to take. There's a very sort of practical, productive, hardworking feel to the energy for that reason this weekend. And actually, that's not a bad way at all to use this full moon to be productive, to get some things done, to work on a project, to do some planning for the future. I feel like we are still in those long nights. We're still quite close to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It's still a great time to sort of be thinking and planning and preparing for the future. And also just getting a lot of work done when we talk about all these Capricorn planets, they're here for that. So that would not be a bad use of the energy this weekend. um, themes around home can come to the surface with a full moon like this, wherever it is in your chart. Mothers, mothering, your family of origin, also your physical home could be something that comes into play, something that you're thinking about during this full moon. I just want to say as well that I am going to read the chat at the end of this recording, I like to just present the astrology first, and then I go ahead and read the chat. But feel free to leave any comments if you're watching this later, or leave anything in the chat and I'll check it at the end. Okay, thank you so much. I really enjoy that portion of the video, and I think that keeping it separate is what works best. Some don't agree, but we've taken votes, and it seems that most agree waiting until the end for the Q&A is best. Okay, so yeah, we have that one way to use the energy, sort of very practical, very productive, very hardworking, also just thinking about the future and planning and preparing in a practical way, right? We are sort of moving just a little bit away from that depth of that Neptune 29 degrees. We're bringing in a little bit of the practicality from all those Capricorn planets, a little bit away from the watery water. We definitely still have a full moon in Cancer here, which is plenty of water. But I just think that the practicality coming in from Capricorn is sort of really nice. So themes around also home and your family of origin, where you came from, your physical home where you live now. This is also another really great way to spend this full moon. I love the way that Cancer loves home. Not just their home, although Cancer loves their home, especially their bed, but other people's homes and just homes in general. So spending time in your home, someone else's home, maybe spending a little bit of time in bed, just in a restful, sort of sleepy way, is not a bad way to spend a little time this weekend. You might really enjoy it with all this Cancer energy. It's also just a really interesting sign emotionally, Cancer. It's the first water sign. So there's sort of like a younger emotional energy to it when compared with Pisces and Scorpio, which isn't saying much. Those are very full emotional signs in their way. But this Cancer can sometimes show up, it's the first of the water signs, and there's something that can show up about it that's, very sort of protective or overly attached. Makes me think again of the mothering themes, sort of for good or bad. Mothering is the most beautiful thing in the world. Without that nurturing, without that unconditional love, it is the stuff that civilizations and families and all things good and compassion and everything is made of. And if it's overdone or it's misdirected, or there can be ways in which someone could be mothering you when you really didn't want to be mothered, for example, and it might feel like too much. So themes around that can sort of show up with it too. And just that sort of those big feelings, that raw emotion of Cancer that is so protective. And once your closest people close and gets defensive if someone crosses them, that sort of Cancer moon energy and Cancer energy at its fullest. Still, I think with Jupiter here, all the Capricorn planets, there's a lightening and a brightening with this full moon to the energy. And I think that the Sagittarius new moon, our last lunation, was pretty heavy too. A little heavier than expected, a little heavier than a usual Sagittarius new moon. So I think at the time of this full moon, as usual, there could be realizations, there could be manifestations in the Cancer part of the chart, especially with Jupiter here as well. Really can't see Jupiter very well, can you? It's hiding behind this. Let's see if we can move this out of the way just enough to be able to see. Yeah, that works. Be able to see Jupiter. We see Jupiter here. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Jupiter is here from last summer, 2025, through this summer of 2026. And it's really been helping us grow and expand in this part of our chart. There's something sort of lucky about Jupiter in Cancer. It gives us a little bit of a bigger target for wherever we're firing our arrows. You know, it's a little easier to hit where we're trying to hit because we have a bigger target wherever Jupiter is moving through. So it's a great time to think about the Cancer part of your chart, if you know your chart, and think about what you've been growing here. This is sort of an interesting checkpoint for that, where there could be another level of, you know, realization of all of that that comes together in some kind of a way. And I just think also with all of these Capricorn planets, it's great to be planning and to be getting real things done. And I just think that energy is kind of nice for the start of the year anyway. Also, just themes around home. There could be happenings around home and family of origin. Note the progress. Note the progress in the Cancer part of the chart. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat here. I hope that everyone is doing really well. Happy New Year. Hi, Bibo. Happy New Year. It's nice to see you. Nice to see regulars in here. Yes, a positive turning point. I know. It's very exciting. Oh, so nice. Thank you. Seeing a nice note from George Parker here. New to the channel. Oh, I appreciate you. Okay. What else we got here? Thank you everyone for your comments. Hello to Mary. Okay, I don't really think there are any questions. Thank you, Rachel. Yes, interesting to see where this falls for you. You may want to check my my channel if you haven't, and watch the astrology report for your rising sign if you know it. It'll show you where this is in your chart if you don't already know. Oh, it's so nice to see people from different places. Hello to Munich. We saw hello from Munich. I'm saying hello to Munich. Oh, I appreciate you so much, Rachel. Thank you. Yeah, Carol, definitely check out your report on my chart on my channel to find out more about this and where it's falling for you. I did December and January together last month to leave a little room for those 3 key transits reports that I did this month. But I will be back to normal astrology reports for February. I'm working on them right now. February is so exciting. Oh my goodness. It is the biggest astrology month that we've had since I started the channel. It really is. I mean, we have eclipse season, we have the nodes. Well, the nodes actually don't change signs in February, but we have eclipses kicking off on the Aquarius Leo axis, and we have the Saturn Neptune conjunction. You know, we have Saturn entering Aries. Neptune enters Aries January 26th, and then they have their conjunction on February 20th. So it's a huge month astrologically, and I don't know. I think I might have 6 charts for each for each sign for the month, which is too many. I think my max has been 3 or 4 before, but I might do like a shorter time with each chart, and it'll probably still be 30 or 35-minute videos. I hope that sounds good to everybody. I have sort of varied the process a little bit lately, but I'm coming back to the tried and true for February. So happy New Year to everyone, and I appreciate you, and 2026 is going to be an incredible year, and I look forward to discussing it all with you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support.